So I'm like, you've never had a child, you've never had a baby.
Yes.
So how dare you think you know better than my mother? You know, so, and I think that really caused like a bit of friction, because at some point I was getting impatient with you, with like in terms of now the knowledge that you want to be questioning what my mom does.
I've got miracles on miracles, a million little miracles. Miracles on miracles, count your miracles. 1, 2, 3, 4, I can't even count them all.
What is happening, elenemfam?
Hey elenemfam, welcome back to another video. My name is Akuma, also known as Letho. So today I'm very excited because we are finally starting our series which we are calling First Time Parenting. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Please also do check us out on our other social media pages. We have left the links on the description box. And this right here is my husband, who is going to introduce himself and also tell you more about the series.
What's happening, family? My name is Mr. Champ till I die, also known as Mr. Champ, child of God. People change but not God. Is it 2 Chainz or not God? We are never sure, man, because they all look alike. Welcome back to another video, elenemfam, and we are so excited to be starting this series. It's been a very long time coming, and we've really been pushing, but it's finally here, and we are so excited to be bringing it to you. So as we've mentioned in the other video, that we'll just be sharing our journey as first-time parents and how it's been going on. And we also did mention that actually the reason why we decided on this series, we wanted to do a parenting update after the life update that we did. We did a life update and then a marriage update, and then it was supposed to be a parenting update. But
we were like,
when we were unpacking it, we were like, you know what, let's rather just have other couples as well, so that they can just share their journey of first-time parenting, so that we are really hoping that it's going to touch people's lives, and first-time parents, they actually just going to relate with the content that we're going to be putting out, and also know that you are not alone. I mean, the Bible says in the book of 1 Peter, I think it's 5:9, so 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 9, where it says, you are not alone. Other people like yourself out there somewhere in the world. Hey, I'm opening with the word of God today.
I can see the Spirit is upon you.
It says other believers out there in the world, they are going through exactly the same thing that you are going through. Therefore, we just thought we would share our journey as well.
So I think we should start from the background, like whether the pregnancy was planned or not.
Yeah. What was it planned?
The pregnancy, having a baby was planned. We were intentional about having a baby. Yes, we wanted to have a baby. But in terms of planning, because when I think of planning is you doing some preparations for yourself, for you to then be able to cater for the baby. So I don't think we planned financially. In fact, I know we didn't plan financially. We also didn't plan mentally. We didn't have the important conversations that we needed to have before having a baby. We didn't have financial discussions, so that preparation didn't take place. But in terms of being intentional, in terms of having the baby, then we were intentional. We wanted a baby. That's all we knew.
And I think that may have been affected by the fact that we had obviously just lost our baby. So now we're like, okay, we really do want a baby. And that's what we were focusing on more than us now planning to say, okay, let's sit down. Because I remember before your first pregnancy, you were actually quite you were quite concerned about a lot of things, like we need to fix this, we need to fix that. But as time went by, then you were quite relaxed, and because I've always been relaxed, I knew certain things. Obviously, you made it clear with certain things. I knew things were gonna work out. So in that case, we wanted a baby, but no preparations were made, and we knew that when the baby is here, something is gonna give. I know it's kind of
something is gonna give. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think it affected how now the baby's here?
Yeah.
Do you think it affected us in any way? The fact that we didn't prepare. The fact, Now after the baby has arrived.
But we did actually have, like, during the pregnancy, we did do some preparations.
Yes.
I remember there was a time I was not allowed to use the car anymore. I had to get myself a bakkie for the business because someone wasn't allowing me to take the car anymore. And
but
we also...
Babe, let me just explain elenemfam. There were boxes in the car from the back seat to the boots, and I'm thinking my due date is now, and the car seat has not been...
3 months away.
No,
it was 3 months away.
Yeah.
So now it's 3 months away. Yeah.
I also didn't want to see boxes in the house, like take a lot or anything to do with the business. I didn't want to see those boxes because I was like, there's going to be a newborn baby here with boxes around. We need space.
Then baby is not here for the boxes. She's here for you.
No,
they probably don't even
see the house. I wanted the house to be clean, to be like empty and free and breathable. So I didn't want those.
You made that very clear. And then like the hospital bag had to be in the car, like it sits there.
I wanted to feel prepared.
Yes. So as much as we were not prepared before, but during the pregnancy, there's things that we had to work around, and then you wanted us to clear the room, and then when the baby comes, blah blah blah, those kind of things. Some of the things happened, and some of them didn't happen. But I think one thing that's also maybe worth mentioning is the other changes.
Yeah.
Like in terms of physical changes when the baby came. Yeah, how did you feel? Because obviously, like, you did have physical changes.
Yes.
I know someone is out there saying, "Well, you were not pregnant, brother."
So how do you have physical changes?
How do you have physical changes? But I did. I know I did, and I know you also did. But how did you feel about those changes? Did you
have?
What did you have?
Yeah, obviously the belly was like looking kind of funny. And also one change that I didn't expect were stretch marks, because I was using tissue oil, rubbing it every day on my tummy. But then 9 months in, when I was about to give birth, I developed or started noticing stretch marks. And I remember the first time when I noticed the stretch marks, I showed them to my husband.
Sheesh.
And he was convinced it's not. He was convinced it's not stretch marks. I was like, no, stretch marks don't look like that. What is that?
Scars. I really wanted us to go to the doctor. I was like, maybe something is wrong here.
Yeah.
We must just... And then when she Googled, because obviously, well, I don't know if it's everyone or it's every woman, but she was on Google the whole time. She was on groups, on pregnancy groups, where they were talking about everything. So she said to me, they said these are stretch marks. I was like, these are different.
Yeah.
Because they were also very dark as well.
I'm sorry, love. Can you please tie here?
Does it even work if the hole is this small?
Okay. Okay. There is another change which I'm sure you remember. Your face.
Oh yes, the boobs, the boobies.
The boobies.
The boobies, those
we were both excited. We were both excited about that change because I've always wanted. I have smaller boobs, TMI, but I've always wanted bigger boobs. I even tried. I've literally done my research before to check how to increase your boob size without going under.
Which they said get pregnant.
Yeah, and then they also said you must rub what's this? The oil, olive oil. It doesn't work, by the way.
How do you know?
I've tried it.
For how long?
I don't know, maybe a week, but like...
that's the thing.
Do you think I should try it again?
No. I don't know, but the reason why I was asking is because I know you give up too easily.
Yeah, I do. I want to see a difference.
Like olive oil. By the time you are wrapping this one is already gone.
Okay.
So the boobies, I enjoy that part. Yeah. And I think another thing that would have actually affected you is the fact that immediately after the pregnancy, the first pregnancy.
Yeah.
Then like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I felt pregnant immediately. Yeah.
Like it was like maybe more than just a month after the other pregnancy, and you were pregnant for 6 months in that one.
Yeah.
So now, and then without you maybe getting the opportunity to work on your body and then like exercising and stuff like that, all of a sudden you are pregnant again.
So I started to show very soon.
Yeah, at 4 months, and people were saying,
it's already here.
I remember people saying that.
I know who said that.
Yeah, which means we're gonna be using a wheelbarrow carrying you to the hospital. That's somebody that said that. Okay. And I'm sure you know that it's a closer person that said that. So I think that really that was not ideal for you.
It did affect my self-esteem a bit, because I was like, okay, what's wrong with my belly? Why am I showing too soon? Because I've seen people not showing up until 6 months, and here I was, like my belly was already big, but Lulu was a big child. Yeah. He's still a big child. So yeah. And then I feel any emotional changes?
From my side, I think I want to start also during the pregnancy. There was a time when I honestly was now scared of connecting with the baby because of the previous experience. Yeah. That time was a very difficult time, because you're like, hey, what if something happens and I've already connected with the baby? But then I remember when he came the first time I saw him, obviously I cried. Everybody does that. I cried. But then I was also, like, I was over the moon, man. At the same time, then you get overwhelmed. You like, okay, this baby is here. I think what sort of helped was seeing you being strong, you know. And also I was like, okay, it looks like she's got this, you know, so I also need to be strong. But I really felt overwhelmed, like with the baby being here. I mean, I've never had a baby before, and then here's this baby, and you know that this is yours. You can't just send it anywhere else.
That's true.
So it was just that. But other than that, I think generally I'm chilled with those things, man. You know,
that's true.
I take things as they come.
I was also very anxious, babe. Like, I remember I used to check. I think most parents, they do this, most first-time moms, where you keep on checking whether the baby's still breathing. So you literally wake up every now and then to check. And it's also very overwhelming having a child for the first time. Like you said, you can't just send the baby away. And if anything happens to this child, it's on you. So you need to be on your best game. So I think I was overwhelmed, and also in terms of how I felt emotionally once Lulu was here again, I didn't have any postpartum depression as far as I know. I think I just had baby blues. Okay. And I think it was because it was winter. There's something about the gloomy weather and change, and then we had we had to bring Gule in. We had there were now like 4 people in the house. So that big change happening all at once, it was very overwhelming for me. So I think I had to sort of tell myself that it's hormones. It's not like it's not a real thing. It's like the world is not as bad as I think it is right now, where I'm like, what is happening? Everything is changing. I had to tell myself that it's hormones, and I will adjust over time, and I'll be okay.
And then baby blues and postpartum, is that what it's called?
I don't know. I think so. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah, I think whether it's postpartum. But so what do you know what the difference is? Why are you saying it was this and not the other one?
I think postpartum is more like depression, where it's long term and it lasts longer. With baby blues, it would normally be 6 weeks and then you're fine. But with postpartum, sometimes you're not even able to take care of yourself, and you're not even able to take care of the baby. You just fall into this very dark hole. But with baby blues, you're still able to function.
All right. No, that's a good thing. But then, do you think there's anything that you did, maybe like in terms of of you not getting into that slump, even though it was there? Like, do you think, is there anything that would have happened or that you would have done? Like someone else might be doing things that they love, for instance.
I think it was getting help to take care of the baby, in terms of having my mother-in-law come, so that I don't feel like I'm on my own. I think I was gonna be so overwhelming if it was just the two of us.
Yeah.
So getting umama to come, it really did help. And also me talking about my feelings, because once Nkule came in, I remember I couldn't give because I had so much guilt, like mom guilt. I felt like I needed to do everything myself. I felt like I needed to bath the baby, feed the baby myself. So I remember when I told you this other morning, because Lulo used to wake up every 2 hours. And I remember waking up feeling so tired. And I told my husband that I'm just so tired, I can't take care of Lulo right now. And then my husband was like, yeah, but that's why Nkule is here, so that you can sleep. And I couldn't do that, but me being able to speak to someone and have someone who's gonna say, it's okay, you can give the child to the nanny, that's why she's here. I think that did help me to get in a better space.
Okay. I'm just thinking, so when Umama was around, with me, because obviously she's my mother. And I felt like, okay, and I think that's another thing that helped me emotionally, because I'm like, here's a person that raised me, meaning that Lulo is gonna be fine. We might not know everything, but the fact that she's here. So here's someone that has raised me, and I turned out to be a fine young man. So I'm thinking,
can agree.
So I'm thinking, Lulo is fine. But this is before I knew that Mama wasn't here for a long time. She was here for a good time. I'm only here for a good time, not a long time, man.
I felt betrayed when she told me that she's gonna leave. She's leaving. I'm like, what
after
do you
a week,
mean?
my own mother, guys, I'd say, no, that's what my mom said. I was like, are you talking about my dad, who will understand when you spend 2 months here? And then she said, no. I need to go back home. We really had to, I had to convince her and bribe her and say to her, listen, awufuna ukwenza glasses zakho zamehlo, like go to an optometrist just to buy an extra week, guys. And after that week, she was gone. And
it was very hard.
For me, I don't know about you, babe.
For me it was very difficult because I gave birth C-section, so I was not able to do a lot of things myself, like cooking, the cleaning. But now with her leaving, I was like, how am I going to be able to do all of these things and also bath Lulo? I felt so betrayed by Umama.
It was very unexpected.
I really wish that she could stay longer, but also at the same time, babe, I will still be honest. Mama was there for more for emotional support, because she wasn't doing.
I agree.
Mama, if you're watching this, I think next time.
I agree.
Mama wasn't doing much, honestly. I think she did help in terms of, like, when Lulo is sleeping, I could also go and sleep knowing Ugutu Mama will be there when Lulo wakes up. But in terms of doing the cooking, the cleaning, she wasn't there for that. I think in a way, it looks like
anything else, guys, do your thing, man. You'll be fine.
But I think like in terms of, okay, let me ask you first. What do you think was the big change in terms of our marriage after Lulo arrived?
Okay. I think before we go into the marriage, the issue, Mama, is actually I think it's a bit deeper, like in terms of, but then I'm thinking maybe that. Did it change our marriage to see how you think? Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
But then, do you then, babe, think that if, like Uma, your own mother, was the one who came, and just as an honest conversation, this is not comparing anyone to anyone. Do you think that would have made a difference? Because I'm asking this because, I mean, here is mother-in-law, and then there's always expectations with Umakoti. But then if it's your own mother, you can ask her. If you can see that she's not cooking and it's 7 o'clock and nothing is happening, and you can see which nothing is happening, then you can ask, Mama, Ntela, Wednesday, kanj. But if it's your mother-in-law, you can't really. So do you think it would have made a difference if it was your own mother?
I think you've already answered. It was definitely going to make a difference. Because obviously, Mama, you're not, how Mama, you're not going to cook with my mom.
Yes.
But like with the Mama, I think she still expected me. Well, I don't know if she expected me or I just felt pressured to still be umakoti. While as with my mom, I think I was gonna be more relaxed. You know. And if I want to sleep in, I can sleep in without feeling like I will be judged if I'm sleeping at until 10.
Maybe you, to a certain extent, you may have judged yourself. But I do believe that it's just. All the generation sometimes does have those expectations, and I think sometimes it can come from lack of understanding exactly what you are going through, you know, being in somebody else's shoes. And
also like with them, because I feel like they grew up differently. So if they were able to do it, they were able to still wake up and make umdogo while breastfeeding or while they are still umdlezane and like new moms. If they were able to do those things, I think there is some sort of expectation for you to be able to do certain things. Sorry. So yeah, there's that. So
okay, no, I just thought it was interesting because I remember even with the way I was relating with Umama, and I think that's where your question was coming from, because I trusted Umama so much because I mean she's raised me with even things that you were not necessarily agreeing with, and I think that caused a bit of friction because you felt like I was siding with Umama, and which I was.
That's true, but you know what, elenemfam. When I was pregnant, I told my husband, or I asked my husband that we need to go and attend prenatal classes. And they were online. Some of them were online. So my husband would log in while driving to take a lot.
Multitasking.
Or doing something else, and I'll check with him, did you log in? Were you there? And sometimes I would have
logged in and then network better.
So now I have this knowledge that I have learned from the classes. And then Umama arrives.
And she's got this knowledge from experience.
From experience, but like it's like old school stuff, Zama, Armani, interest, and those things. And I'm just feeling like I'm feeling uncomfortable with those things. Even like with putting Lulo, making the baby sleep on their tummy, and I was not comfortable with that because the baby could choke. But they were. I mean, like, they've done it before, but I was not comfortable because of the knowledge that I had. And my husband would side with Umama.
I think naturally so, because like I said, my instinct is saying, I've seen her raise kids, she's raised me, and I've seen the stuff that she's doing now when she was raising like my younger siblings. And they turn out fine. So I'm like, you've never had a child, you've never had a baby. So how dare you think you know better than my mother, you know? So, and I think that really caused like a bit of friction because at some point I was getting impatient with you with like in terms of now the knowledge that you want to be questioning what my mom does. Obviously, as you and I actually appreciate the fact that you did still say, because some of these things, when you read them, like this one is for kidneys. They're saying it's for kidneys,
like
not to be given
for medication that our parents love.
And I was like,
we're not giving.
There's different things. There's this, there's that, and then they would want to mix it.
When you guys went to buy medication and you came back with like bags and bags of medications.
So but when I started reading those things, I was like, actually, you know what? It makes sense as much as but when I look at something that's for kidneys, and then some of these things they sort of are for the same thing, so I'm not understanding why we are mixing them.
We have to mix them.
So but it in that regard it did affect our marriage. But then I think more than that, there's other things that really affect that. that affected our marriage as a result of like ufika
Having that
komntana.
baby. But we've already shared in terms of marriage updates, like what has changed and life updates.
Yes.
But before we move on from that point of us not seeing eye to eye, I think that's where it's very important now, like going forward, or if you're expecting right now, it's very important for you and your partner to decide what will work for your baby and to attend those prenatal classes together, so that when someone else comes with something different, you've already agreed that no, our baby will not use sunlight, bar soap, they will use aqueous cream.
Yes.
You know, you need to discuss those things. They are very important to have a discussion, because
But do you remember, sorry to cut you, but do you remember we actually had, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but do you remember we were actually talking about, and I think we were just referring to our backgrounds, because you were saying I don't know if they were saying the baby mustn't bath like every day, and then you were like, oh, I'm not sure about that. I want the baby to bath like every day.
Yeah.
And then, so I think we did have a conversation on that one, but I felt like we don't really know what's gonna work, because all these things are not really from our first-hand experience, because I think you were even referring that at home it used to happen like this.
We bath every day.
Yes. So I was like, Eish, but if now they are saying you shouldn't bath the baby every day, but when you are saying because at home it's being done like that. So I think I think those
it's for the
conversations.
parents. I think it's for the parents to agree. Like, what do we take from back home? What do we take from your family? What do we take from my family? What do we take from Labelung? Food decide. You know, like from the prenatal classes, what do we take from that? And then we agree together as parents. It's okay, this is what we feel is best for our child.
And I think that requires understanding and flexibility. Because like I always say, that we always think that the things that we grew up knowing and things that were instilled in us when we were growing up, we think that's the gospel. Whereas you are also sitting there, you're thinking the same thing, and then we never really reach like a consensus. But if you are mature enough to say, okay, you know what, I think babe, I'm willing to listen. But I know you wanted to sort of not talk about in terms of obviously now sex changed as well. Like I mean, we did
just mention that in passing.
Sex was different and
more quiet
now, and also like in terms of I think there was a level of discomfort in the beginning, because for me, knowing that you had a C-section, so I wasn't sure if you've completely healed and stuff like that. So I really it took a bit of time for me to get to a level where I was like, okay, no, she's fine, you know, she's not complaining about the stitch or anything like that. And
for me, sex was a bit strange because we had not been having sex. So that was another thing.
It was like, hey, are we even supposed to be doing this thing?
Like,
so it was. And then
like a virgin.
What you just had to throw that one. It's like and then do you like in terms of the marriage changing as well? I honestly, I don't know. It wasn't a big thing, but it was there where I felt like I'm not seen here. Like the focus is a little bit on the baby too much.
Okay.
So I didn't even communicate it, because I was like, you know what, I just need to monitor it, because this is a new person, and I want to see it like in the long run if it's something that's gonna continue. And it didn't continue for a long time. But there was a time where, like, literally it was like, first of all, you don't trust me, like, in terms of just handling the baby. There's things that maybe you expected from me that I wasn't doing. You know, so that part of where I felt like the attention was given more to Lulo than me, it did come maybe for like maybe like a month, but it didn't last for long.
For me, I started having, so with that change, after Lulu arrived, for me, another feeling that I had was feeling resentful towards you.
Okay.
Because you would just leave whenever you felt like leaving.
Yeah.
You would just be like, I'm going to take a lot. I'm going to cut my hair. Without even asking me if I'm available to look after Lulo or if I'll be
needs to still look good, man.
So I used to be upset because now if I want to leave the house, I need to ask you if you have any plans. I'm like, but this is our child most. It's not just my child.
I should be able to just up and go
yes.
as well. Yeah.
And then there was also a time where I suggested that we have some sort of not a timetable, but like a we share sort of like split the night.
Yes.
Like I look out because you stay up until late.
Yes.
So I said, okay, when Lulo wakes up between 7 to 12, he's gonna be your responsibility. You feed him, you burp him, and then you put him back to sleep. And then from 12 to morning, then that's my slot. So at least I know if I sleep at 8, I'll get good hours of uninterrupted sleep.
Yeah.
And when you said no to that, I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah. I think with that one, I don't think I was opposed to. What's that shiny thing? Or is it just a reflection? I don't think I was opposed to that idea. But I think maybe it was the way, like the approach, because I felt, and if you remember, I didn't engage in that one, because I was like, okay, this comes, it's coming across as a bit instructive, like I'm being told
and
what's going to happen.
And he doesn't like being told what to do.
So I'm like, I would rather we have a discussion and see what works for me. So you said it, you threw it out there, I didn't respond. And then I remember now when you said, hello? Remember what we spoke about? And I wasn't very pleased with that. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to address this. But I don't think I was opposed to the idea. And as a result, actually, I misunderstood what you were trying to do because I was focusing on the approach and not really what you were trying to achieve, you know?
Yeah.
So no, I'll admit to that one. And you being you, like you were like, you know what, actually, if you don't want to, I mean, I'm not just gonna throw this baby here. But
in terms of me neglecting you, I don't think I noticed it. I think, it could be something that happens naturally because, I mean, I know you can take care of yourself. There's a newborn baby.
You should understand this.
So with that, but I think now we are better. Some of these things we have spoken about, things that we're not happy with, and then what we feel we will do better next time. I definitely do feel we could have done better with Lulo in terms of communication, in terms of expressing how we're feeling at that time, and then what do our expectations. I feel like we could have done better, but I think now because we have experience when we have baby number 2
and number 7 and number 9,
we'll do much better. And that's why we are having this series, so that you guys can learn from some of the things that we did wrong, and then some of the things that we feel we did right.
And maybe before we even leave, were there any things that you would have noticed on my part that maybe I would have changed, or things that you didn't know about me that sort of now popped? Like maybe you thought I was a caring person, but now you're not so sure anymore. Like,
I think after feeling resentful for some time, then I was like, I started looking at the things that you were doing right and being more appreciative, because at the end of the day, the baby is the mother's, technically.
Well, you are the primary caregiver.
Yes. So I think after switching my mindset and looking at the positive things that you were doing, such as because I gave birth C-section, when Lulo woke up at night, he would bring Lulo to me to breastfeed, and then put him back. You would make sure that he has everything. Literally till this day, my husband, sometimes I don't even know what Lulo has, what Lulo doesn't have, because my husband is the one who buys the nappies, buys his medication and his clothes. So he doesn't even ask me. I'll just see him coming in and I just know that part is sorted. So I just decided to focus on those things. Even like right now, why do I keep on saying even now? Okay. So in the morning, my husband is the one who looks after Lulo when I go for my runs or when I'm going to work. So he will be looking after him up until Nkule starts work. So those things, I'm very grateful for those things, and I don't think it changed your career. I saw a change in your caring side, like on the person that you are. I think at that time my mind might have been clouded by the hormones as well, and because also I don't think we're communicating very well at that time. So once I switched and also told myself that these things that I feel I'm the one who have to do them, maybe I need to let go of the mom guilt. I feel like I've been talking for so long. Anyways, I felt like I needed to let go also of the mom guilt, because when you are not bathing Ululo, maybe you decide tonight you don't want to bath Lulu and I'm bathing him, I would want you to also bath Lulu. Like, why don't you bath him as well? But I'm thinking, if I don't feel like it stays Gule, I can do the things that I enjoy doing. If I enjoy feeding Lulu, let me feed him. And if I enjoy putting Lulu to bed, which I do, just spending the time with him, singing whatever, then we spend the time before bed with him. So once I switched my mindset,
then all was good.
All was good.
From my part, obviously, with you having the knowledge that you had, you know, I felt like at some point I was like, yo, I've never seen my wife like this, like where she says, no, that's not how you hold the baby. You put your hand behind the head, okay? And then it's like, no, you don't bath him like that. You don't put, you see? So I think that knowledge made you, obviously, I think new mothers just in general be paranoid. New parents, in fact, because I had paranoia. I remember when you were taking Lulu from the bed and I thought he was falling off, and then I woke up and grabbed him. So I think there's that paranoia. But then with the knowledge that you had and knowing that I didn't attend those classes, so you were like, actually, this guy is unfit to handle a baby. So I that part, it did sort of make me feel some type of way. But of all those things, I didn't at any point feel like I didn't take them personally. And then the other thing that I noticed with you, which is something that I had known, and I had always said that you are gonna be a good mother. Yeah, it's a positive thing. So like with the way like you are so caring and nurturing and all those things. But when Lulu came, so whenever I would feel neglected, I'd be like, so Lulu at least is getting some of this love. So that really, it still is so heartwarming to watch, you know, when you're taking care of Lulu and how comfortable he can be with the both of us. Before maybe we go to the lessons, babe, do you feel like you got enough help throughout, especially now with you having a C-section and you mentioning that, you know, there's help and then Mama came. Do you feel like the help from my side, from me, and maybe from Mama and anyone else that may have been involved, do you think that help was enough?
I think if you've been watching this video, you already know my answer. I don't think it was enough. I don't think it was enough because Mama left too soon. Secondly, I feel like my husband and I were not communicating very well. I was not able to express exactly what I wanted. As a result, I'm like that. Like if you don't want to do it for me, I'll do it myself. So I ended up having to do a lot of things myself. But once Kule came in, I think things started feeling better. But I think next time, I think one thing I would have done differently would be to bring Kule in sooner. And also communicate with you in terms of what am I expecting. Yes. So I don't think the help that I had for the first 2 months, it's not like maybe for the first 6 months, like first 2 months, I think the help was not enough. I feel like I could have gotten more help.
On my part, talking about like lessons and things that we could have done differently. Me, first of all, is attending those classes.
Yeah.
It would have gone a long way. It would have given me more confidence in terms of handling the baby.
Yeah.
And I think it would have also put you at ease in terms of knowing that I know how to handle the baby.
Yes.
And I think I also, information from Umama, I would have known which one to take and which one not to. But I didn't have any point of reference, therefore I was taking everything that was coming from her. Another thing also is listen to you more. Okay. I think I was kind of deflective, you know, because of the way, you know, where you would talk, and I would be like, woman, this is our first baby. How many babies do you have that you've raised? That type of thing. But with certain things, you were telling the truth, you know.
I don't know why I'm feeling emotional.
Yeah, so I could have listened to you more, so that, because you keep bringing up this thing, communication, and I think that's where the communication was lacking, because now here I am, I'm deflective, and you're trying to communicate, and just because someone is not communicating the way you would love for it to be communicated, at least just be able, because you're saying there's hormones as well that are involved, just be able to take what they are trying to communicate and see what you can do with it. I would have, I think my last one, I would have been less busy as well. Like, I think if I would try and arrange my life in a way that maybe just one day I sort out everything, take a lot, so that I don't have to keep doing it every day. So those were lessons for me, you know, where I was like, when I look back, I was like, actually, you're right. There's definitely things that I could have done better. So yeah.
Okay, I think we can do our closing remarks.
Yeah. So it was just one lesson for you? What could you have done differently?
The closing remarks are lessons.
Oh yeah, I've done mine.
Okay, yeah.
So those are our closing remarks, Elena.
Yeah, and also like advice that you would give to first-time parents.
Yeah, it's not doing what I did. Listen to listen to your
I think
partner.
It's communicate. Yeah,
yes, communicate.
Yeah.
Get help. I think that helps a lot.
Yes.
And if you can get someone that you are comfortable with, get that person that's where you are able to communicate with them to say that I'm not able to cook, sis, please take over. Mother-in-law, I don't think that's the best. It depends, and this comes from me. That's why I'm saying it myself.
But I really did appreciate having her, because I remember at some point, like when she left, I was like, why would you let
I thought we were just gonna crumble. I really thought we were not gonna make it. But God is
so
good,
anxious, man. But yeah, God was with us, and Lulu is like so old now.
Yeah, he's grown.
Yeah, he's grown.
He's even talking, but. We really hope that you learned some things in this video, elenemfam, and even with the upcoming videos, we do know that you are gonna get some nice nuggets. The couples that are coming, these guys, they are spitting fire. You do not want to miss this series. It's really gonna change your life, whether you are planning on having a baby or you are having a baby already, but you are just trying to figure out things. Maybe this came at the right time, and you are just curious to know what happens with first-time parents. Like I said, the Bible says that you are not alone, man, that's going through this thing. So communicate. Mom guilt, don't do that thing. Get more help, and
I don't know now.
and sleep some more, man. When the baby sleeps, you sleep.
Apparently, most parents don't do that.
Exactly. But elenemfam, we really appreciate you. We love you. May your neighbors respect you.
Troubles neglect you.
Family embrace you.
And God bless you.
And may your shame and pain be champagne.
Cool.
How was that?
It was nice.
Are you talking about the video or the kiss?